In this video, I want to talk with you about goal setting. I want to show you how you can build confidence in yourself and how you can structure your own goals so that you can reach them. Now, nowadays, there is this topic often in the news, in newspapers, and everywhere over the internet that we need to create proper goals. Some people are millionaires at the age of 22, other people, build a massive business at the age of 30. Some of the people that we meet become famous, they become popular. And in the end, we often ask ourselves, how can we get there? How can we take the step from right now being in the position that we are in to the position that these people are in? Now, of course, the one thing that we have to understand is that there's often a lot of luck, but there's also often a lot of work. But in the end, what we really need to take care of is our goal. Which kind of goal do we have? So in this video now, I really want to eye out all the problems that you have with goal setting, because in the end, when you ask people on the street, what is your goal? They will say, well, what kind of goal? And in the end, I think that is a big mistake, because when someone asks me, what is your goal? I will say to live happily and free. So when you cannot say what your goal in life is, then you definitely haven't found it yet, and you haven't set proper goals yet. And also I think this is keeping you back from achieving them, from going out, from reaching them. That's why my advice to you, first of all, watch this video, and then directly after watching this video, get a piece of paper, get a pen, and write down what I'm going to teach you and try to find out what kind of parts match to your life, and then also which kind of goals do you have. Because we are going to talk about short, middle, and long-term goals. We're going to talk about business goals. We're going to talk about worldly goals. And also we are going to talk about personal goals. So now let us start with the differentiation. So we differentiate here between business or career goals, then worldly goals, and personal goals. That is basically the differentiation that I always put on myself. So for example, the business goals that a person could have is, for example, to build a 7-figure business, so a business that makes or is at least worth more than $1 million. Or for example, what you could say, my company wants to move into the Chinese market next year, so we want to sell our product in a different country. Or you could also say something like, I want to get this new position in my company. Or perhaps I just want to get a raise. I want to have a salary raise. I want to earn more money. Or what you could also say is just simply, I want to go back to university. I want to learn something. And that basically because of a career or business reason that you say, okay, if I go to the MIT and get another degree, I will probably be taken by most companies because most companies actually trust people who come from the MIT. Now, when you say, okay, I want to move into the Chinese market, for example, then this is your goal. Of course, a goal is not enough, the execution is important, but now in this video lecture, we're going to talk about goals. So also another goal could be to innovate an existing product. Let's say your company has a product and they released it and now you think, hey, actually I got a couple better ideas, I want to innovate the product. Then of course that is fine as well. What we want to have a look here is just simply business goals or career goals that are somehow connected to you getting ahead in life, actually meaning that you're going to make more money, or that you're going to be in a better position, or that you are going to receive more freedom in your job so that you actually become happier or at least more satisfied. And also get in contact with, for example, a cheaper supplier when you produce a product. All of this could be a career goal, could be a business goal. Then we got the worldly goals. So for example, the worldly goals are big goals that are all around the world. The one thing that we wish everyone, for example, like stopping hunger, or that you don't want HIV to spread anymore, or that you want to stop Ebola, or that you want to stop climate change, that there shouldn't be any rise in sea level, or that there shouldn't be the presidential election, like perhaps the results of the presidential election we did not like. All of these things are possible. To be honest, I'm German. I don't really care about the US presidential election if people right now are watching. But for me, again, also in Germany, there are elections and our president's going to be elected. Actually, he just got elected. But to be honest, I don't really care. The worldly goals are big goals. They're not really connected to you, but they are rather somewhere in your feelings. So for example, I would give probably my right arm in order to stop hunger because I care a lot about other people. And also I would really love to give my other arm in order to stop climate change, if that would make any sense. But I really care about these two things. And of course, also connected to climate change is then the rise in sea level. All of these things are worldly goals. And then we have the personal goals. We have things like happiness, that we just have a happier life, or perhaps you want to have kids, that you just simply perhaps found the love of your life, you found the right partner, and now you say, okay, I want to have some kids. I'm now 30 years old, 35 years old. I'm soon getting a little bit older, and perhaps I don't have too many years anymore, and also I don't want to be old and die soon when my kids grow up. So I want to have a baby right now. I want to have kids. So that's possible as well. That is a personal goal. And then also, for example, having a proper partner, that perhaps you want to find the love of your life. I think actually everyone seeks that. So in the end, that is a personal goal. Or perhaps you like to be traveling and you say, okay, I want to visit more countries. Perhaps I want to go to, I don't know, to Mexico. I want to go to China. I want to go to Australia, New Zealand. It doesn't really matter where you want to go, but that you have that inner desire. Okay, I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. I just simply want to change my life for the better. All of that is in the personal goals. And then also what you could say is just simply money. Of course, this is very much connected to the business goals. But if you say, okay, I just simply want to earn more money, that is my personal goal. And perhaps you can do that actually by doing something that makes you happy. But you say, okay, I want to make more money, I want to change my career, then of course these two are very, very closely connected, even though I think personal goal is rather something like an inner desire. You say, okay, I want to be happy, I want to have kids, I want to have a partner, I want to be traveling, I want money, I want independence, or I would like to. So in the end, what you're really trying to say here is that you have an inner desire for something that could enrich your life in the long term. For example, career goals are sometimes not in the long term, they're just simply temporary. But personal goals are often in the long term, even though, of course, there are also other personal goals which are perhaps not in the long term. What you could also say is, my personal goal is to be independent. I don't want to, go to a job anymore. I just simply want to, leave the country, go somewhere, live in the woods, and just become happy. I mean, there are people who do that. So in the end, I think this is not really laughable. This is actually something that many people desire, but it is somewhere like deep, deep, deep in our mind, in our unconscious, and we say, okay, actually there is this kind of will for freedom, this will for independence, that we want to go out and just simply live somewhere in the nature and be happy. Now, I can really understand everyone who says something like that, but now we want to talk about the differentiation between business goals, worldly goals, and personal goals. So in the end, business and career, all of business and career, we want to just go and get ahead in our life, in the sense that we make more money or get in a better position in order to make more money, or in order to just simply receive more fame or credibility or substance. And then we get the worldly goals, which are rather something that comes from your heart, something you say, okay, I wish for everyone. And then we got the personal goals, which are like rather a desire from your inside, and you say, okay, I want to have that for myself because this would really enrich my life. And of course, when you now say, I don't want to be some kind of egoistic person, then of course I can tell you that being a little bit egoistic is not a problem, because in the end, a personal goal should be actually something that treats you well, and treating yourself well is nothing we have to be afraid about. So in the end, you should have all of these three. You should have business goals, you should have worldly goals, and you should also have personal goals. If you do not have them, that is in my mind problematic. Because what we try to figure out here is, how can we become productive, and then based on the goals, what do we have to do? How productive do we need to get in order to reach those goals? For example, financial independence. What does that mean to you? Is that, for example, $1 million? Is it $10 million? Is it perhaps even more? Is it less? Is it perhaps less than $1 million? What do you need in order to become really financially independent? And then we have to think about the steps that we want to take in order to get there. But actually, I'll be talking about that later here in this course. Now, we need to differentiate between these three, but we also need to have goals in all of these three. So business or career goals, worldly goals, and personal goals.